Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled 35 Pretty, Done Having Kids, and Men Don't Choose Her. Let's get right into it.
Let's all read this together. As you get older, your options are going. Good luck competing with 18-year-olds. As a 35-year-old woman, when men come into my comment section saying things like this, because it happens a lot, I am a 35-year-old woman. And to my surprise, I have found out that this is the most untrue thing to ever come across the screen. It is propaganda that men try to pour onto women because, unbeknownst to me, as a 35-year-old woman, my options have not diminished. They have actually doubled. Not only am I at the age that I can date you, I can also date your father. Crazy. I know. 35 and I still look this good. I know. I always thought that whenever I was going to be 35, that I was going to look like an old little decrepit baby. Turns out I don't. Turns out I'm even hotter now than I was in my 20s. And my options have actually not gotten smaller. They have doubled. Because not only can I date within my own age bracket, I can date younger. I can also date older. So, yeah, the 30 range, 20-year-olds, love me. Love, but also do the older rich men. Yeah, they do actually. I know. When you're a woman that takes care of herself.
You know, it's so funny to me that she really believes what she just said. What she just said was complete nonsense. You tell me that you have more options at 35 than you did at 18? Are you crazy? Listen, let's just do the math. Who can you date that an 18-year-old can't date? I'll wait. You said older men. An 18-year-old can't date an older man. You might not want her to date an older man. Y'all might shame older men for dating an 18-year-old, but one, it's legal, and older men have no problem with it. So, no, you could have absolutely dated those same men when you were 18. But here's the reality of it is, your options have diminished. One of the reasons why they diminished, because yes, not everyone wants an older woman. That's one reason. The other reason is you have more requirements now. You want more as a woman at 35, right? You actually have a higher standard for men now that you're older than you did when you were younger. Okay? So, yes, do some women date older men? Some. But chances are the restrictions that she has at 18, you have more. You want money. You want looks. You most likely want a man older. You probably wouldn't date a man younger. You're 35, you probably wouldn't date a man in his 20s. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. And yeah, you could date my father, but trust me, at 18, you could have dated my father too. Now, men, we have more options as we get older because, yes, we could date younger, we could date older. Yeah, I could date your mama now. Okay, maybe your mama would have dated me when I was 18, but she would definitely date me now. Okay. Anyway, it's funny to me because women like this are delusional. Okay, you don't believe me? Look at this. Look at this.
I just saw this trend and this lady said, what are your favorite ways to practice microfeminism? And she said that she didn't want to hear just like the small little things. She wants to hear something unhinged. And I think it's my time to shine. My favorite thing to do is to tell men, especially if it's like a patient that is male, or if I'm ever going on dates, because if I'm going on a date, it always inevitably happens that a man will ask me if I want more kids because I'm 35. I have a son that's 17 and I'm done having kids. So the conversation always comes up and it always leads to, oh, well, what if you met like your perfect man? And I always tell them that, yeah, just because I just like to play into it a little bit. Not that I'm like serious about having any more kids. I'm like dead ass not having any more kids, but it's like my favorite thing to like kind of like dig into why they want kids, if that makes any sense. Whenever it inevitably turns into that conversation, I always tell them like, yeah, you know what? If I ever met like my ideal man, right? Like if he supports me, is loving, is kind, is gentle, makes good enough money, is educated, things that I have myself that he also has too as well, and we can build together. That's what I'm looking for. And if he was my ideal man, I would consider having kids, right? But when we get married, this is always a stipulation that I just like add in there, is the stipulation of like, if and when we get married, my thing is I want to put it in the prenup that if we ever have kids, those kids are yours. The amount of times men will be like, oh my God.
Okay, I'm going to just save you the long speech. What she means by the kids are yours, she wants you to raise the kids. So if you guys ever break up, the kids are on you. Now, it's funny to me because she thinks that this is enticing. Lady, this is not enticing. How confident would you be if you weren't attractive? She walks around thinking she could date men of any age. She got more options. She doubled. She don't want to have any more kids. So, you don't offer a man fertility. You don't offer him youth. You're not going to even offer him a child. But you think you got options. I'm telling you. And it gets worse, guys. It gets worse. Okay? Take a look at this video. Hey, listen up, Shape Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly, you just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
You know what I think? I think that being a loser is fucking easy. Okay? Like, there's so many of y'all out there. It's really genuinely so embarrassing. Being a loser is so easy. So fucking easy. You know what? Being a good human is hard. Okay? Like, having a little bit of goals and ambitions, that's fucking hard. Being a loser is so easy. Like, men that manipulate women to get what the hell they want out of them. Loser. You know? Like, men that use women. Loser. Men that sit there and abuse women. Loser. Loser.
It's so funny to me. Women can make fun of a man having no ambition, which you know is keyword for being broke. They can call you broke and say, oh, you're a loser. You're broke. But if I said, hey, what if I told you men look at women who have kids as losers? Oh, we can't say that, right? You can say a broke man's a loser, and here's the reality. A broke man could change. He could get money. Every man who was rich, for the most part, started off as broke. But you're a mom. You're always going to have kids. And let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this, but there's women out there that won't date a man that has kids, okay? They'll tell you, oh, you have kids? Swipe left. I won't date you. It's a deal breaker, okay? But this woman, because she thinks she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, that she's not the loser. She says, there's so many losers out there. And she don't think she's one of them. Can you imagine that? If you were not pretty, would you believe the same thing? If you were ugly, unattractive, overweight, would you believe the same thing? I don't think so. And this is why I say all the time, women are way more shallow than men, because we know as men, being attractive is not enough. I know I can't just be attractive. Beyonce's not going to dump Jay-Z because I look better than Jay-Z, okay? So we know as men, we got to be more than attractive, okay? But women, that's all they got to be. They got to be attractive. It don't matter they have kids. It don't matter that they're older. Their age don't matter. Their kids don't matter. As long as they're attractive, they're desirable. Okay? To the men that just want to smash. Not to men that want to marry them. Anyway, moving forward, I found this video to be pretty interesting. Take a look.
And y'all want me to be in a relationship so bad. The reason why I'm not dating anybody is because nobody's fucking impressive. And you know how I know nobody's impressive? My best friend just texted me. It's 9:30 in the morning. He texts me an hour before I wake up. And he's like, do you have Marriott Bonvoy? I'm like, no. Is it easy to sign up though? Because I can just sign up. Because he's always the person with the Hilton points, whatever, whenever we go on vacation. And I just signed up for Delta. So I was like, oh, if it's free to sign up, I'll sign up. Like, maybe it's something that he wants me to do, whatever. I'm already asking questions, not knowing what's coming. He's going to say, yeah, sign up because I'm gifting you Marriott Silver or whatever. I'm silver, whatever. Silver status. You niggas are arguing over whether we pay 50-50 or not. Niggas I'm trying to have situationships talk themselves out of daily. But my best friend is gifting me on a random Saturday, gifting me Marriott Silver status level.
It's so funny. This girl would refuse to go 50-50 with you. She says, I'm not dating anyone because nobody's impressive. Lady in the pink outfit, do you think you're impressive? You look like my grandmother. You think I'm trying to sleep with someone that looks like my grandmother? Respectfully? Talking about men want to go 50-50. Baby, I'm not giving you a dime. You got to pay me to go on a date with you. Respectfully. I don't know who's more delusional, this black woman here or the Asian woman in the prior video. But I'll tell you something. Women are delusional. Delulu, okay? She thinks she has options. Oh, her best friend's going to give her Marriott Silver. What that got to do with me? You think I'm going to lower my standards for women because your best friend does a lot of cool things for you? I'm telling you, they get on this internet and they embarrass themselves. I'm telling you. Anyway, found another pretty interesting video. Here's a black woman with some common sense. A married woman at that. Shout out to all the married women. We support married women over here. Okay, it's an achievement to be a married woman. So if you're married, even if I don't agree with you, you did achieve something. Anyway, listen to what she got to say.
See, coffee dates or like low-key dates, that's essentially what it is, are very important, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what it does is it forces you to have to actually have a personality. And see, that's a lot of y'all don't have it, and so that's why you don't want to go on a low-key date, because you're going to be forced to actually have to engage because you're not going to have all those distractions in the way. And then a lot of women are dating just to get out the house, just to get free food, just to leech off a man, or hell, a stud too. Like, a lot of women just go on dates just to have something to do. So that's why a lot of women don't be wanting to go on low key dates, because they don't. It doesn't feed their agenda. So honestly, a low key date, or the fact that the person don't want to go on a low key date, it exposes them. So low key dates are very important. Like, very important. You need them. See,
She says everything I want to say. She said everything I want to say. It exposes you girls. If women will get online and say, yes, women are going on dates to use men for food, what do you women don't get about it? But every girl wants a 5-star restaurant, a 3-star Michelin restaurant on the first date. You haven't met her. You guys matched online. You exchanged numbers. You met at FaceTime. That's what I do. I make sure I FaceTime, make sure there's not catfish. And then what do they want? They want an impressive date for the first date. For what? Why am I trying to impress you? Why don't you impress me? Why don't we try to impress each other off of coffee? It's a low-key date, but you need to have personality, and a lot of y'all don't have personality. A lot of y'all want us to watch you stuff your face in expensive food and make another man rich. For what? Encouraging us to be simps ain't gonna work. I know y'all do it all the time, but it ain't gonna work. It's gonna work with the simps. It ain't gonna work with the pimps. It ain't gonna work. So I say this to say that, guys, fellas, if a woman refuses to go on a coffee date, just let her know you expose yourself. She's like, what do you mean I expose yourself? Everyone talks about it online. We know there's a lot of women that go on dates with men just for food. And 2, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I like you. And 3, let's see if we like each other. Let's see if our personalities actually match without food in the way. And if you pass the coffee date, I'll take you on a nice date. How about that? Okay? And if they're not down for that, then the hell with them. The hell with them. Anyway, I found another video that's pretty interesting. Take a look at this.
Y'all do know that women have sex too, right? Okay, just making sure, because I get many comments asking me to preach abstinence to my audience, and I will not be doing that. Mainly because y'all, the community, do it for me. 2, we've been doing it for 300 plus years. Let's see where it's gotten us. And then 3, there's a very real reason why a comprehensive sexual health education is deliberately withheld from women all over the world. And it's been this way for years. Gaps are very intentionally left in a woman's education about her anatomy, her biology, her sexuality, all of the above, so that a man can then fill it. So if she knows nothing about sex, it is now up to her partner to define sex for her. And now riddle me this. Can a woman who's been raped say she was raped if she does not know what rape is? If from the very beginning, sex to her has not been defined as consensual, as pleasurable, that is why I will never be shutting up about this, because a comprehensive sexual health education is life-saving, and withholding it from any human being ever is an act of violence. Y'all do know that women have sex too.
You know the word comprehensive. Good job. Comprehensive sexual education. Oh my God. All comprehensive means is complete. Full. That's all it means. And people get so, oh my God, look how many syllables are in this word. Comprehensive. It's 4 syllables. It's a big word. This idea that women think that men have been against women, it's a feminist idea. And they believe and they think there's an agenda, the opposite agenda. They think feminism is the truth and everything else is the agenda. This idea that men withhold education from women because we want to teach them that therefore we could grape them and they wouldn't know it's grape because they never heard grape. Listen, that's everyone knows what grape is. No one needs to educate you what grape is. No one needs to. Oh, I didn't know what that was. You're being violated. You need someone. No one. Even if you didn't have the words, you know it's violence. So this idea that, I didn't know the word, so I didn't know what it was. It's the same people that say, I don't know this particular word, so I can't express my feelings. Because you got a limited vocabulary. That's why. You don't know how to say words without very, very important. Very smart. You have to put very in front of everything. Very this, very that. That's a trouble that you're having, right? Instead of saying very important, you can just say imperative. Instead of very smart, you can say intellectual. Right? You know what I'm saying? So this idea of lack of words, people can communicate. They just can't communicate with bigger, more interesting words. So the vocabulary, okay? But this idea that you don't have the vocabulary to communicate that you've been violated, it's just silly. What she's trying to do, and she don't even realize what she's trying to do, is she's promoting whole culture. Because she thinks it's a woman's right to feel pleasure and sleep around. And that men have been restricting women from being hoes because in reality, the hoe is the truth. That's what she's communicating. Comprehensive sexual education and be in touch with your body and sleep with a bunch of men to find yourself. Feminism has pushed the free sex movement, and it did not improve women's happiness. It didn't improve the likeliness that they'll get married. It didn't improve anything about them, but y'all still believe it. Feminism has no results, but y'all still believe it. I believe that women should have the right to choose. I believe that women should have the right to pick their own happiness or lack thereof. But that doesn't mean that feminism is not a propaganda or it's not an agenda. Let's be real about this. Okay? It's definitely an agenda. Okay? And it's ruining women in left and right all the time. I see it all the time. This attractive young lady. This is an attractive young lady. Let's tell the truth. But she thinks she stumbled on something. She thinks oh my God. She just had an aha moment. Oh yeah, it's men against women. And the men been trying to oppress women. You hear this argument over and over again when the reality of it is we know that women can assault a man with impunity. You know that word? Impunity. You know that word? You can insult a man without getting in any trouble. Look at Sha'Carri Richardson. None of her sponsorships, none of the brands that she's in line with are making any stink about it. Can you imagine a man attacking a woman in an airport and then being arrested for it and all his endorsements stick around? Can you imagine that? It's a double standard. It's a double standard. So let's not, this idea that men are oppressing women, we're still living in the patriarchy. The patriarchy allows for feminism to exist and protects feminism. Feminism is not protected by women, it's protected by men. That's why I hate these arguments so much, lady. Don't ruin, you have your beauty. You don't have to ruin yourself because of this. She's ruining herself because of this. Mercury, Pisces. She thinks, look at her. It sounds good on mute, right? Look how good this sounds on mute. I just love watching her on mute. But she thinks to herself, I'm so smart. Ignore the fact that I got huge jugs and a pretty face. Ignore that. No, my intellect, Steve. What's your intellect? I believe in feminism. I believe women is. And I believe women are smarter than men. And women mature faster than men. You tell me that's not the propaganda? Anyway, I'm moving forward. I found another clip that's pretty interesting. Take a look at this.
I am still processing. Tonight, a guy friend of mine yelled at me to shut the fuck up and let him talk. And this is...
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh my God. Finally, even their friends are doing it now. Yes, shut the hell up. Yes, we're tired of this shit. I don't even know what she said, but yes, I agree with it. I don't tell your girls to shut up, but please, sometimes this is what we be thinking in our heads. Just shut up. Shut up. Anyway, let's let her finish her story.
Nice guy, right? I could have this, I'll probably have another video between nice and kind. But I was absolutely shocked. We were talking about the T app, and I could tell it was coming from a very emotional place and projections from his part, and I was just sharing the women experience and why something like the T app exists. 10% goes to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and he was arguing how for men, you know, if a woman doesn't like a man, he can easily slander him and things like that. And I was explaining to him, yes, that's the case, but you can compare that to women survivors who go to court, and the court is usually not on the side of survivors. And so we already have so many things that aren't on our side. And so when we have an app, I'm stumbling around my words because I'm still like processing.
Women are not on the court of survivors. Is she kidding me? Did she not see the Diddy case? Did she not realize that Cassie was a Ghislaine Maxwell to Diddy, but yet Diddy was charged with RICO, and they couldn't even get him guilty of RICO because where are your co-conspirators? You know why? Because they gave the woman impunity for actually hiring the S workers, choosing them, selecting them, paying them, instructing them to travel between interstate lines. So she should have been charged with the Mann Act as well. But I forgot to tell you, the Mann Act's only for men. Only men are getting charged if we fly S workers across state lines. It's not the Women Act, the Mann Act. By the way, the word man, I know the word man is just a name, M-A-N-N, I get it, but still, it seems like it only applies to men. So this idea, and it's just so interesting, women, if you just do a little bit of research, you realize all these things are lies. Oh, no one's sticking up for women survivors. I hate the fact that feminism has hijacked the civil rights movement and they make it seem like they've been oppressed, like black people have been oppressed. No, you have not. You have not been oppressed like black people have been oppressed. Stop this shit, yo. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Black people were sold as slaves. They were a property. Women have never been sold as property. You could not go somewhere and buy a woman. Okay? Now, in some countries, you could trade a cow for a wife, but you get the cow to her father, not her owner. Okay? And it was a business thing in the sense of bringing your families together was a business ordeal, but it wasn't this business transaction where women were just property like slaves. They weren't. They've never been. So this idea that women have been protecting themselves this entire time, and finally they broke through the oppression of men. That's why we want you to shut up, because you know what the hell you're talking about. You don't. That's why he told you shut the hell up. What are you talking about? Oh, survivors. All this is the dogmatic language you were taught on television. The survivors. It's all lie. It's not true. It's not true. If a man does something egregious, he will be punished. There's some people that are politically connected. I agree. But not all men are politically connected. Let's keep it real. Right? Some rich men are. Some white men are. And there's just some men that are politically connected. But this idea that men are all politically connected, it is not true. If anything, the court systems have always favored women. Family courts always favor women. The woman's awarded the parental custody almost all the time. If people just did the slightest research, you'll find that women have favoritism. They have bias against women for so many things because we look at them as victims and survivors. So guess what? If a woman commits a crime, on average, she gets less time than a man for a similar offense. A lot less. So there's female bias when it comes to sentencing in courts. You never heard of that? There's no male bias. Men don't get less time than women. Women get less time than men. So when women just regurgitate this stuff and they never do the research, it infuriates men who actually do research. This is the issue we have in the dating market. Women just talk nonsense and they don't want anyone to tell them, shut the hell up. Shut up. It's seriously like y'all literally propagate this shit. This is pontification. Google it. Women, Google it. And for the men that never heard of that word either, the whole point I'm saying, though, is that what's infuriating about this and videos like this is that women get online and they are dying to be the victim. They want to be the victim so bad. This is the victim Olympics. Who could be the more victim out of women? I'm a woman. I'm a victim. So, okay, if you're a victim as a woman, who's going to protect you? Because it's not going to be other women. It's going to be men. If a man injures you as a woman, whether we're in a patriarchy or matriarchy, guess who got to protect you from those men? Other men. So there is no one man team, woman teams, all a lie. Anyway, I'm going to let her talk a little bit more, and we're going to wrap this up.
I don't do well with men who react that way from my history. And so, but the app was created for women to support women. You could put green flags on there, you could put red flags, but it felt like he didn't hear anything I was saying. And sharing how there's potential slander versus women's safety, right? Domestic violence. Men are the apex predator for women, and most of unaliving comes from men against their partners. And so it kind of even proved a point. And also the point of, I was just debating, sharing my part, and it was getting him very frustrated to the point where he's an impassioned person, right? But then it tipped over and he yelled at me and said, shut up. And the girls that were there, one girl stepped away and then the other girl was sitting, and they were shocked too. I don't know how to process it in terms of it being a guy friend. He did.
Yeah, you know what? I don't feel bad for her, and I get it. You know, everybody wants to be heard. Everyone wants to have a point. Everyone should be viewed a certain way. The only issue I have with this is that, and you should let someone talk. So there's someone, you should hear what someone has to say. But the problem I have with this is that women just regurgitate the same talking points that were given to them by news media. And that's why some men are frustrated by it. But as men, I'm going to keep it real. You know the real way to deal with this is just ignore them. Don't tell them to shut the fuck up. Just like, you got to treat women like children. Their points, they don't land anywhere because they're just children. What do I like argue with a child? What does a child know? You can't grant them their argument. The thing about this, he's arguing with her because he's trying to grant her, like, you know what, you are smart, you're intelligent, and he's trying to hold, it's an expectation thing. He's holding to her standard, and she's disappointing his standard. But if you don't hold women to a high standard like that, I'm going to keep it real with you. Y'all can feel whatever you want to feel, but this is my view on life. If you don't hold them to the high standard like that, you won't be disappointed. Just like you won't hold a child to a high intellectual standard, you won't be disappointed. Therefore, you won't have to yell at girls, be violent to girls, be aggressive to girls, and they're going to like you better. Women would like you better if you don't hold them to that high of a standard. Listen to them, what they have to say, give them a chance to talk or whatever, but understand that whatever it is, it's not going to be rational. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be based off of dogma. It's going to be based off of propaganda. And so you already, before even she opens her mouth, you already know nothing is going to come out of it. Generally, that has been well researched, that's been objective. It's all subjective, and it's all with an agenda to say that men are oppressing women, and they're not going to let that up. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see y'all over there.